Hello guys and welcome to my channel. This video marks the start of a brand new motovlogging series I'll be doing following the purchase of my first SuperSport motorbike in over 20 years. 20 years, my God. So as a kid, I had two major loves. So from the age of 6 to 7 years old, my first love was music. And that's a love that just grew and grew over the years. And to this day, it's still with me. I still write and produce music. I absolutely love doing it. The second love I developed a little bit later on, probably 10 or 11 years old, was motorbikes. So ever since my father let me ride his... what was it? It was a Honda. I think it was called a C90 or something like that. It was a little moped, and he let me take it up the local quarry and sort of have a go on it. And from that day on, my love for motorbikes was just banged in my heart. So the first street legal motorbike that I purchased was this. So this is a Honda MTX50. I haven't got any pictures of me actually on it. There weren't many cameras around in the olden days. But this was the Honda that I purchased and put old plates on it and used to go out exploring. This motorbike, even though it was only a 50, what it meant to me was it meant that I had freedom. So I had a push bike and I used to go around the local town or local villages, but this powered motorcycle, even though it was a 50 moped, it allowed me to go out and explore the world a little bit more and take the blinkers off a little bit. And I absolutely adored this bike, but very quickly I wanted to go through my tests. So I think I was around 15, 16 at this point. I wanted to go through my tests as soon as possible. So I then upgraded and purchased a brand new Suzuki Gamma RG125. And again, I don't have any pictures of me on it, but I believe this was the model that I bought, and absolutely fantastic motorbike. I love this motorbike. Me and my friends, we all had 125s and we used to go everywhere on them. So I had this 125 for a little while and wanted to go in for my test, and I did one of those block booking tests, a guaranteed pass. So back in those days, you could do I think it was £200 or £300, something like that. And I did a Friday, a Saturday and a Sunday learning. So this was one weekend, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Being taught how to ride the bike properly and go through my CBT and all that. And then on the Monday afternoon, you would be straight in for your test. And if you failed it, you'd be in on Tuesday afternoon. If you failed it, you'd be on Wednesday, and so on until you pass. It was a guaranteed pass, and it was an all-inclusive course. So I started on the Friday, did my tuition over the weekend, and on the Monday afternoon, I think there was 6 of us doing the same course. On the Monday afternoon, all 6 of us passed the training course, which was just fantastic. And then on the Tuesday, I'd been saving up like mad. On the Tuesday, I went to Ideal Garage, which is a motorbike garage over in Birmingham, and I bought this, my first SuperSport. More of a tourer, but it was a SuperSport. So this is the Honda CBR 600F, and it's an M-Reg, which would make that around 1994. So getting a 600 was just, I can't put it into words really, but it was spectacular. It really was spectacular. A 600 SuperSport bike is just a phenomenal machine, and I absolutely love this bike from the first moment I saw it to the moment I got on it, and then I went out on a test drive and purchasing it on the same day. It was absolutely brilliant time in my life, that was. So the only issue I had with this bike, I clearly didn't do my research well enough at the time. The only issue I had was I was around 5'8.5" in height, and I could just about tippy toe on this bike, and because of that, 2 or 3 times over the years which I owned it. I dropped it quite a few times and I had crash bungs and everything on it. So this is dropping it from a standing start, not from actually riding and being knocked off it or fall off it. I dropped it from pulling off round corners from a standing start, which was the bane of my life in the end. So moving on from that, I then got married and we decided to have children, and I really thought it wasn't fitting for me to own a motorbike anymore. So unfortunately the bike had to go, but I always had it in my mind that later on in life, when the kids were a little bit older, if we could have kids, we didn't know at that time, but I would always look at buying another motorbike maybe later on in life. So I sold the CBR 600F back to the garage where I bought it from, and I think I only lost, because of the modifications and upgrades I did to it, I think I only lost around £100 on it. And when I went in to tell them I wanted to sell the bike, they actually sold it the same day. There was a kid there already who was looking at buying a Honda, and he took one look at my bike and he wanted to buy it. So the same day he bought the bike, he bought my helmets, my leathers, my boots. The kid bought everything. So I came home from that shop feeling very sad, but onwards and upwards. I always had it in my mind that I was going to buy another one later on in life. So flash forward to today. So this is over 20 years later now. I've now been planning to get a new bike for well over 12 months, and following on from my 600F, I always had it in my mind that I wanted, the next bike I wanted to get was a Suzuki GSXR750. That was always my dream bike, right from when I had a 50cc or the 125. I always wanted the 750 Suzuki. So that stuck with me all these years. So for the last, for 12 months, I've been, piling money away, trying to save as much as possible to be able to do this. And for the last 6 or 7 months, I've been looking for the newest and best condition GSXR 750 that I can find in the UK. And I've got to be honest with you, it was very, very difficult to find the bike I wanted. And in October, so this is probably 5 months after I started looking, in October, I finally gave up and resigned myself to the fact that I probably wouldn't get a bike this year, and maybe I should look in the spring of next year. And then, lo and behold, the week after I gave up looking, an alert came through from Auto Trader. And Auto Trader told me that a bike had just been put up for sale at Blade Honda down in Abingdon. Hello, guys. And this is the bike that they popped onto Auto Trader. So this is pretty much the exact bike that I wanted to buy. It was black. It was the newest. I think you can only get up to a 2017 in the UK because of the EU emission laws and all that kind of rubbish. So it was a 2016 L6 black GSXR 750 with one owner, and wait for it, 980 miles on the clock. And in the description, the guys down at Blade in Abingdon, they said that the bike was in mint condition, factory showroom condition, hadn't been modified, and genuine reasons why this bike hadn't been used much for the last 3 years or whatever it is. So I immediately phoned them up because they're quite away from my house. So I phoned them up and I put down a £100 deposit so they wouldn't sell it, because I knew this bike would sell very fast. And the following weekend, I jumped in the car and we went down. I went down with the missus and we went down to have a look at this beautiful bike. And I've got to say that Blade Honda down in Abingdon, they described it perfectly. We went to see it. It was, as they said, mint condition. Not a single scratch was on the bike. It looked absolutely brand new, immaculate. And we had a chat about why the guy was selling it. And yes, there were genuine reasons why he was selling it. And I absolutely wanted to buy the bike. Unfortunately, the weekend we went down, so this is now November time, end of October, start of November, the weather here in the UK, it was just torrential downpours of rain. So I couldn't even go out for a test drive, and I was really nervous about test driving anyway, because I haven't ridden a bike for 20 odd years. So I wanted to buy this bike, and I decided to buy it totally on faith alone. So I followed my gut and purchased this bike.
Yeah.
So on to the reasons why I bought the 750 and not the 1000cc bike. For me, it's an easy choice. One of the reasons is the physical size of a 1000cc bike. They're big bikes. I'm only 5'8" and a little bit. I used to be 5'8.5", but I've lost my big man hair. So I'm about 5'8". And on the 750, I can flat foot the 750, no problems at all. And it just feels right. It fits me like a glove. It's a perfect bike for me. Another reason is the 1000cc bikes are extraordinarily fast. They're, I know the 750s are also meant for the racetrack, but a 1000cc bike, the bike will never ever reach its full potential with me riding it. So there really isn't much point in me getting a 1000. 750 is probably way too much for me as well. Another reason is I was originally looking at a CBR 600RR or the Suzuki 600, but for me, I want to do some longer journeys throughout the UK and visit as many towns as I can, maybe take it into Europe. And a screaming 600, I would imagine it would probably be really high up the revs on the motorways, probably be a little bit too much for me. So in my eyes, the 750 would be lower revs in 6th gear. We should be able to trundle along quite nicely on the motorways with that. And they are an absolutely great position sports bike. So when I sit on the 750, I'm not overly hunched over onto the tank. It's a little more upright, comfier pegs on it. I think the pegs are adjustable on it as well, so I can make it a better fit for me. And I think that's it really. The 750 for me just really stood out as the perfect bike for me personally. And even on the 750, the bike's potential will be up there. When I start riding, I'll be at 2% of the bike's potential. Maybe after a year of riding, I'll be 40, 50, 60%. But again, I'll probably never reach the 100%. But I'll be sort of in that comfort zone and riding it as safely as possible. Another reason is the insurance costs. So the cost of owning a 1000cc bike in the UK, the insurance prices are... I had some quotes for... obviously, I've got no claims bonus or anything like that. So the quotes I were getting were nearly £2,000, which is an incredible amount of money to spend on insurance for a motorbike. The 750 came in at £750, 760, around about that sort of mark, which is still a lot of money. But hopefully, if obviously I don't claim on the insurance over the next year, then next year's insurance price for the 750 should come down to around £300 or £400. So that's another reason why I've gone for the 750. So to finish off then, I just wanted to say a little thank you to Blade Honda in Abingdon, especially to Mick. So as I said, I haven't owned a bike for over 20 years, and I was a little bit apprehensive going into this right from the get-go, but Mick and Blade Honda have really looked after me through the whole process. So from visits down there to telephone conversations, Mick did have to put up with a lot from me because he had to wait for me to get the funds all sorted out and being able to actually purchase the bike. So I just want to extend a sincere thank you to Mick and Blade Honda in Abingdon for sorting me out. and also for recommending a company called A2B Couriers. They collect and deliver bikes up and down the country all day, every day long. And they recommended that if I couldn't pick the bike up from the shop, which it turned out that I couldn't do that, to give them a call and they would sort me out. So A2B Couriers, absolutely fantastic. They picked the bike up, looked after it for me as if it was their own, and promptly delivered it straight to my front door and even brought it down the side of the house for me. So a big thanks to A2B Couriers and also to Blade in Abingdon. Thank you very much, guys. It was a great experience, and I'll come and see you in the new year. Okay guys, so I've just took delivery of my 2016 GSXR750 and we're about to do our first startup. I'm so excited, mate. Let's have a look at it. So moving on to gear then, obviously I've got no gear whatsoever. So already the price, the cost of doing this is growing and growing and growing. So for gear then, I went to see a motorbike shop in Cannock called CMC Motorcycles. And again, the guys there looked after me start to finish, and I've managed to purchase everything I need to be able to jump on this bike and ride it, which is obviously the ultimate goal. So thanks again to CMC Cannock for sorting me out. It was an absolutely brilliant experience. It's a pain in the butt trying jackets and trousers on and gloves and helmets and all that kind of stuff, but they made it very simple for me. Knew exactly what helmet size I should get. They measured me up and everything. They did it all properly and advised me on what jackets, what trousers, what boots to purchase as well. So thank you very much for looking after me there. So in the next video I'll be showing you what gear I've bought, so you can have a look at this stuff that I've purchased. Okay guys, well thank you very, very much for watching. I hope you can continue to watch these videos because I'm going to be putting quite a lot up there. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Okay? See you soon guys. Bye bye.